And we're live. Welcome everyone to this week's Azure and AI Show. We've got Amy Diamond, MVP, with us today, and Amy is going to show us the new Copilot studio page. And myself, Frank Falvey, then I have some slides that I done in a talk this week in Dell Technologies, so I might share those slides with you. So, Amy, do you want to share your screen with us?
Yes, give me just a second. I'll
Yeah,
move to
and
the
I'd like
okay.
to
Yes.
congratulate Amy on a milestone this week with his SharePoint on YouTube. He's after hitting 1,100,000. Yay!
Yes. Yeah,
Yay!
yeah.
That's
Thank you.
amazing.
Um, it's sometimes, um, it the the main target is not the views. More important is the content and um, valuable information. Uh, but thank you very much. I appreciate everything, and I will share my screen. How about
Yeah,
now?
yeah, I can see it there
Okay,
now. What can I help you with?
so here you see the new Office 365 homepage. So if you remember, before you had like left panel where you had home, you had the chat, and you had the agents. Um, Now, when you do office.com or just go into the main Office 365, you'll either land in a search um, or in the chat. And it looks different. So, first of all, notice that the name is M365 Copilot and not uh, Microsoft 365 or Copilot. So, but naming, change all the time. But if we go, if you remember, we had the app launcher. Yes. Just like if I go to any of the other applications, let's say Word, then you'll remember that you had this waffle, yeah, where you would choose the application you want, if it's Outlook or OneDrive or Word or Excel or PowerPoint, Teams. So the waffle is gone on a homepage of Microsoft 365. And if you want to go to one of these applications, actually, what you need to do is to go to the search. And in addition to, if you want to find files or something, so let's say I want SharePoint, I'll see this, it shows everything that starts with what I typed, or documents, or what was bookmarked, or other things. So the app launcher has went away, but if you insist to have the apps here, what what happens is that you have an app of apps where you can choose the apps you use frequently, and then you can click on the three dots and pin it. So let's say I will unpin all of these because this is how it's the beginning. And if I go to the apps, I can say SharePoint will be pinned, and now it will remain here for the rest of the time until I unpin it. So I can pin, let's say, Teams. And as you can see here, there's additional apps. Let's say I want Forms. So it's added here. So instead of the app launcher, either we search here for it, or we pin it here, or search through the apps link. Let's go back, and now we have the chat. So the chat is actually similar. It has a different icon. As we know, if you have a paid license, you will have both the web, which is the free version, or that it searches in the only in the internet, which is based on the Bing search, and you can ask anything, but the source is only um, from the internet, and the work is actually where you can search a reference to documents which are in a secure under your 365, either in OneDrive or SharePoint or anywhere where you have access. Um, this is this enterprise data protection that actually says that the, the data is not trained on any models, and here you can create actually a new chat. Um, Also here you can either mention an agent that you have or reference to some document or people or files, meetings, emails. You can upload from your device or you can attach from your um, OneDrive. Then we have the section of agents. So if it's closed, then actually you won't you need to open it. And here are actually the agents that either I created through the Copilot agent builder, or the ones that I created through the Copilot Studio, and I decided to publish them only also in the chat. These two agents are quite new. So if you're either, I don't know if it's GA still, but if you're targeted release, then you will see them. You could also see them under the all agents. You will see those that were built by Microsoft. These two are part of the Frontier project. Just in a nutshell, the researchers meant to give deep reports on topics that you choose, either um, for information that you have within your organization, um, and the other one, it actually it's like deep search, so it might take 5 minutes or more, depending on the how deep it does. I can show you an example for um, what it does. Let me see. Sharing all conversations. Interesting enough, something which I noticed, it now shows the history of things that you did with a timestamp. So if I asked you something about you read. So I asked here to build a comprehensive market share analysis of the company I work at. Then it asks for additional questions, and then it provided here a deep analysis of the topic I wanted. It's really good, but it takes time. But it can give because it can look also things from the web and also from the content that you have, and it gives a really deep uh, information. And the analyst is more a tool where you can add a Excel file and it will do deep um, analysis using when you run it, you'll see it runs some Python um, and all kinds of things, and then at the end it gives you some kind of graphs and things. So as I said, it's agents that either you created through the agent builder, studio builder, or through the Copilot studio itself. So here you can see all of the agents based on the belonging to you. You have a search bar where you can search for them. And here you can also see additional agents that are available. If you want to create your own agent, then you have this button. And yeah, you can choose from some templates that are here, or you can go automatically to configure and write exactly what you want, the name, description, the instructions, and to give a link either to a SharePoint location or to the web, and set starter prompts. If you want to see all of the agents you created, you need to do create and go back to my agents. And here you see all of those that you have created, and you can see actually a filter by those that are published filters or anything else. And you can also create, but you cannot edit directly from, there's no link to edit something. You need to do create, go to my agents, and get back. The conversations, as you see, is the recent prompts and results that you have requested. So that's that. And then you have the pages, which are, once you write a prompt and you want to keep it, you can add it to a page, which is actually a loop component. If you add it to the page like this, then you can continue working with it. You can share it, but it's stored here, and then you can, let's say, export it to Word or share it with people, either also in Teams or Outlook or anywhere else. But the idea is, once you uh, add it to the page, it will show up under the page link. So now you have this one. Something new is actually this notebook. If people are familiar with Notebook LM of Google, then this is quite similar. The idea is you create a notebook. So let's create a notebook. We'll call it AI Show. And now I can actually write a prompt, ask some questions, but in addition, I can add resources. So I can add a link to something or upload some things from my device. I can also do it this way, and this way I can reference to any documents or people or meeting or anything. One interesting thing is that you have add Copilot instructions. So you can add. I'll go back to one of the notebook I had. So here I added documents. Here's some pages. I'm still figuring out how it's working, but and you can also make audio file which summarizes all of the information here. Maybe after I wrote the prompt and got a result. So if I run, I don't know if you hear the audio, but just like I presented in previous things, it this does this audio player, and then you see I have almost 5 minutes of um, it's like doing either podcast or one person audio. Um, Here it's also I was wondering if sometimes you can do either one person or like a podcast. In this case, it's not the case, but you can make like a audio that summarizes in audio this information. Last but not least is this create. So if you remember, Microsoft has all kinds of other tools. Um, I think it's called Designer. Yeah, Designer was one of the products that created just like Canva or other things. So here we have centralized possibility to create images, and not only that. So in this first tab of Create Image, you see I have examples. If I choose one of them, I can see the prompt. I can adjust. I can add an image. Um, I could write the prompt I want. I could choose a style. Look how many styles I have. So I have modern. I can have this doodle, which is nice. I can have watercolor, oil painting. Just choose what you want and be creative. You can create your own brand. Okay, and so it will always act with the brand and colors you want. So I created here a brand, and you can also choose the size. You want portrait, wide, or square. Um, so just to show you, so you also have here, it's divided by types. So I have celebration, connections, teamwork, and many more. Um, so either you can also choose to create an image with all of these nice things. You can choose to design a poster. So I actually like this one. I don't want to, but so maybe I'll just say instead of core values, I'll write SharePoint wizard, and the rest I'll keep the same, and I run it, and it will create here some suggestions. Then I can edit it, I can export it, I can do anything. It reminds the designer in Canva. Um, uh, Here it shows examples. So look, this is actually what I created. I could just maybe say to download, or I want to edit it, and then I can adjust the text. I can make multiple pages. I can choose the color branding, the style, um, and actually this is quite nice if you want to make like a slideshow, maybe on LinkedIn or something, then it's quite interesting. When you export, you can choose what format to download it. What's interesting besides the PNG, JPEG, you have PDF, MP4, which is a video, and PowerPoint. So that's interesting. And here you have the edit possibilities, the text, and there's all kinds of interesting things that it gives you. So he gives recommendations and icons and lots of things. So yeah, I'll not go in too much detail. So you can also create a video. If you remember, through the chat you could do it, and also through the clip chat you could do it. So now you can do it from here. You write a description, and it will create a video. It shows that you can also create from a PowerPoint presentation a video, which is cool. You can create also a form or a survey. Actually, you write what you want the survey to be, and it will recommend create a Microsoft form survey where you can, or suggestion where you can decide if you want it or not. You can design a banner. This is cool. So either you can use it even for your SharePoint pages, you can add it, or you can use it for a Word document um, as a header or a footer, or you can be very creative and decide. So you see here actually these are team banners, announcements, as you see even for a newsletter. So many possibilities, and here you can edit pages. These are the standard templates for Word, Excel, PowerPoint that we know. There's the brand templates, all templates, and you can have a brand kit. Um, this is in a quite 20 minutes overview. As I said, the apps shows the possibility to add the apps that you're missing in the app launcher. And as we saw, we can also pin it. So just want to show you this experience is in a tenant where I have a license, but if I go to a tenant which I don't have a license, then the notebook will not be there, and the create will
Yeah, I was just going to ask you that question. If people didn't have a license to M365, would they
okay.
get
So
all those?
this is a yeah, this is a tenant that doesn't have the 365. You see in the chat, there's no work or internet. Yeah, so the search is within the internet. The chat is limited only to the internet. The agents are. It's interesting. If I try to create an agent, uh, yeah. If I look at all of the agents, I can see. If I choose one of these, it will tell me it's only to use this app, you'll need a Microsoft 365 license. So it shows you that it's available, but you cannot do that for the free one. But even this prompt coach, but you can create one which is anything which is not actually. If I choose, let's say, this interview question, it actually gives me something, so it's interesting. But we don't have the notebook in the create. We have actually only those like we would have in any homepage of Word, Excel, PowerPoint. We don't have the image creator or banners. Uh, Actually, form we do have, um, but it yeah. We have the apps here because the same experience of the app launcher has disappeared, but we can also pin here the applications that we have. So it's a slimmer version, but it actually, yeah. Well, one thing I want to share is actually people uh, in lots of organizations, we're trying to roll out people to know the new Copilot, even the free one. But now this new appearance might a bit confuse, and people might need to get more updates to know all about it. But you know, like everything, Microsoft changes and the features change, and it's a constant learning uh,
Learning curve.
roadmap,
Yeah.
and this is for us. It's good. For it's good, but for others, can be it once it's rolled out to GA to all companies and all users, uh, it would be a good recommendation to have them just a short overview what each thing does, and especially for those that have the license one, it would be good to explain and to show uh, how additional functionalities that exist.
Yeah, that was a great
Do you
overview
have
there.
it already on your tenant? Thank you. Do you
Sorry.
already have it on your tenant?
I
You
just checked.
see this?
I'll just share my screen there, and we'll see,
Yeah.
because they tend to roll it out to different countries first. Um,
Yes.
let me see now.
Because if you don't, we can show them how it looked before.
Yeah,
Yes, you just now was switched to the new interface.
yeah. So it looks like my one changed over. Okay. So
Yes.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
So the way.
Yeah. The chat itself hasn't changed, maybe, but the whole menu has changed. As you can see, if no app launcher, the search is yeah, people that maybe the first time log into the office.com or Microsoft 365.com, um, because you remember one thing I want to mention is that in Teams the chat is still the old way, so people might be confused that if they work in Teams and they see the chat looking differently, then yeah, maybe hopefully eventually the chat in the homepage will also be the same. I think you want some kind of and yeah. Shall I show you how it is in the
Yeah,
Teams?
sure,
Or do you have a
sure.
Teams?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Um, it's just, could you share your one that you have in the tenant you have there? Because
Yes,
it's
yes, yes. I'll
it,
do that.
it's bringing up
Mine.
my MVP
Yeah.
teams. So I don't want to share
Yes,
that one.
yes. Okay. So this is my test tenant, and here we have the Copilot app. Um.
Just share your screen again there.
Oh, sorry. I didn't choose. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Teams on the left here, I have this icon Teams. Let's say I'm in the chat, and I go to the. This is so, and as you see here, so this icon, I think it should be colored, uh, but we see this. It hasn't changed, but this whole right uh, panel or pane um, is on the right, where in the new appearance it's on, yeah, on the left. And
I
notice this, yeah.
yeah,
It,
I wonder, is it just because you have all those things on the left that they didn't want to kind of.
no, but look, the whole interface is. Yeah. But maybe eventually it will look the same as
The
because just
office.
remember, yeah, this only shows the chat. It doesn't show, but this includes all of these. So the chat has also the agents, also, yeah. Well, but anyway, so in Teams, it's still as you can see here, and in the if you log into office.com, you will be directed to the chat.
The news
Interesting.
slide. Yeah.
Not to the search. Yeah. But it's, yeah. So people need to get used to it, and
Yeah. Yeah. So you've done a
yes.
good demonstration there to show them anyway how it
Thank
works.
you. Thank you.
So
Let's
I'll just
see.
pull up the few slides there that I done in Dell Technologies there this week. It was kind of about the agents, the agentic agents. So I was
Yeah.
invited to talk at, I'll just do the slideshow. So I was invited to the Cork AI Club. It was their 7th session. They have it once a month. And I done a talk about Microsoft Agentic AI framework, kind of overview and live demo. So I'm just going to go through the slides and we'll see how much time we have, if I can do any live demos in the Microsoft Copilot chat and in the Copilot Studio. So that was the first frame. And the second one there was kind of just some stuff about me there, Microsoft MVP, also MCT and 365 Copilot Specialist. We won't read everything, so there's some of the badges I picked up along the way as well. And the middle one there, AI Fundamentals, that's the AI 900. I just got that there the last few months. So
Congratulations.
yeah. So hopefully I might do the next one. Is the AI 102, I think is the next one. So
How
working
long
on
did it take you to prepare for the test?
maybe about a month. It's not too
Yeah,
bad.
that's reasonable. Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Was it hard?
Microsoft in the Microsoft Learn, they have a kind of thing where they help you to train for it. They have a kind of
Hmm.
all the sample questions that you can, about responsible AI and about all the different
Yeah.
and like regression, classification, and clustering. Do you know that all those types of questions? That's once you get to know them, you're good. So they say that if you do the exam in Microsoft Learn, right, the practice one, you can do it as many times as you want until you. So they reckon if you get 3 of them, right, if you
Yeah.
get 85% 3 times, you're good to go and do the exam.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
700 is normally the pass. Well, it is to pass it, you have to get 700. And I got 900. So it was
900 out of 900.
900 out of 1,000.
Oh, okay. But that's 90%. That's perfect.
Yeah. So I was very happy with that. Um, so I put this slide up kind of because a lot of people are kind of getting confused with AI and Gen AI. So it was just to kind of explain to people that were kind of newcomers and were kind of getting confused. So, like, if you think of Gen AI, it's generating something like text and images and videos. So that's kind of Gen AI, basically, like Chat GPT, as it says on the screen. Whereas the traditional one then is kind of like autonomous stuff, like self-driving cars, robots in manufacturing, where they're making cars and they're putting doors on them and doing all painting them and all that, and kind of machine learning stuff. So that's what the traditional AI is all about. So there we have the agentic AI in a driverless car. So as you can imagine, the problems, navigating through traffic situations, autonomously, it's solutions offered are kind of real-time decision-making algorithms, so they're trained on loads and loads of kind of pictures of roads and traffic signs and road markings and cars ahead and cars indicating. So you can imagine the amount of data gone into these things, So the benefits, right, to improve safety and efficiency in transportation. And the
Would you
approach,
say that Internet of Things is combined with this agentic AI? Because sometimes you need to read from different things. You know what IoT is? Because yeah, sometimes it's not enough to know what's happening on your car, but you need to know what the traffic light is doing and to know what
yeah,
the traffic in general, so it can connect also to other Internet of the Things, which was once the buzzword, but um, yeah.
yeah. I was just wondering, like Internet of Things, like you have to be connected to the internet all the time. Am I correct in saying that? I mean,
I think so, but yeah,
yeah. So I'd say with the autonomous cars, we couldn't have the internet all the time. So I'd imagine the software is actually on board on the
yeah,
car,
yeah. Okay.
Um, so they're collecting real-time data from various sensors. Okay, so all the sensors around the car, obviously, they've got
Yeah,
a
but
camera.
just think. Let's say you take navigation or Waze. Waze, maybe it doesn't use internet. It uses but some GPS or something, which is yeah, it's not internet. It,
Oh
it could
yes,
be either internet or some GPS thing. But
oh
let's
definitely.
go on. Yeah, sorry for stopping you.
No,
Yeah.
I prefer if you ask me questions along the way. It's
Okay.
better, for people to
Mm-hmm.
kind of understand the stuff. Like as you say, some of the sensors, definitely GPS is definitely connected because to kind of give you information if there's traffic up ahead, or tell you, look,
Yeah.
you might need to take a left above because there's an accident or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So
But what's the
that's,
difference between Gen AI and agentic AI?
yeah, agent. I'll come up to that. I have a slide on that
Okay.
shortly. So
Does
that's
it
kind
come
of,
from the word agent or
yeah,
does it come
def-
from?
yeah, agentic. Yeah, it's the autonomous part of the agents. So I'll just move on to the next slide there, right? So this is kind of just to give you a rough idea what an agent actually looks like. So we all know the user has to put in a prompt to get information out. And so you can see the top one is the prompt, and then you got a model. So your model is kind of, people, you hear these LLMs, and you got
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people are working on SLMs, small language models, to try and
Yeah.
cut down on the amount of data that their processing, cutting down on the compute, how much they're going to get charged for using VMs. So if they use small language models, they won't use as much power, just cut down to use the data that your company only wants to use rather than the whole of the internet, So the tools down the bottom there could be APIs, databases, could be the internet, or just your own company's dataverse, something like that. So that's a simple kind of slide to give people an idea how an agent is built. And some of the tools underneath the hood then, right? Microsoft uses this one, the Samantha kernel. It's a model agnostic SDK, right? Software development kit that empowers developers to build, orchestrate, and deploy AI agents and multi-agent systems. Whether you're building
Frank,
a simple, yeah.
Can I ask who the people that you were talking to, that you presented, were they tech people? Were they
They were
management? Yeah.
they were from every kind of department. There was actually people from cybersecurity. There was developers there. There was managers there. There was R&D engineers, technicians. There was a mix of everybody. And
Okay.
I got asked. We kind of waited on the end for questions, and I got all different types of questions.
Yeah. Okay. Because
Yeah,
it can be, for I find that, let's say, for high management, they want to understand, what's in, is it for me, or vision and values, or how can I save money, or make more profit, and each it's because before they want to invest, sometimes they want to see if there's a ROI, or how can
yeah,
you save time and things. um, but each sometimes you need to fit the presentation to the people. Maybe if they are from IT, and they know what's it about, or have some background, and it can be very interesting. um, but
yeah.
it's yeah,
So
it's a great presentation. I'm just saying, yeah. I was interested to know who were the people that you spoke to, because
yeah,
yeah.
so it's a kind of they call it the Cork AI Club. So it's just a club. It's not an actual kind of teaching or any particular avenue, so everybody can attend. So it's
No,
an
but
overall.
usually people that join with a background of IT or technology, or maybe not.
No, it's for everyone.
Anyone.
To
Okay.
see. Yeah.
Sounds great.
So I just kind of put one or two slides. I have a couple of scenarios going ahead. So
Okay.
look, this one is one of the tools under the hood anyway, and it's open source. And there's the next one. It's called AutoGen. Is another open source, and this one is particular. I actually got a question from the audience. One person in the audience, he asked me that they were working on some stuff at the moment, and they were looking how to try and connect all their APIs together, from their different models. So
Yeah.
I said AutoGen is what you could use because it's a multi-agent AI application, and it can connect all
Would
different.
MCP, not MCP, um there's a new, what's it called,
And then
where
server,
agent talks to a different agent.
yeah, that's the MCP.
Yeah,
VM,
MCP.
yeah,
I was
yeah. So these ones, Semantic Kernel and the Autogen are two open source ones, so they'd be easy enough. So I think this is kind of like where the semantic kernel is and whatever, and the ones we're kind of using there, the Copilot Studio and the AI and the AI agent builder there in the thing. So I just want to try and get on to the other couple of slides there. So there's the autonomous one now, the agentic part where we're talking about. So this is the agentic part of the agent's autonomous agent work. So it can kind of do process automation, follow guardrails. That's what you put in place so that it doesn't kind of maybe go outside your organization's data, that you're not using the internet and whatever. So they're the guardrails to kind of keep you on track. It integrates AI reasoning, making decision, users AI enhanced decision making, so as whatever prompts that they're putting in, whatever, that they get out what they want. Orchestration then with other agents and whatever, and then just down the end there, right? If they're using it on, we'd say something like we'd say like Amazon, and you're sending back a package, and then the AI reckons that the package you're sending back is not the package they sent out to you, and then they could just get a human involved, So that's so it'll just keep going around and doing its work until it detects something that it has to get a human involved, and then it does it, This is the one now where you were asking earlier about the agentic part of the agents. So it's a spectrum of agents, they call it. And the first part is a retrieval one. And that's just a simple thing like, you can just use it to pull data out of your own data, or you can use the internet. I use the kind of simple one, like making a garden agent. And then I asked the kind of questions like, how do I look after roses? And it kind of gave me back a message, how you feed them, how you prune them, all this kind of stuff, So that was the retrieval agent, right? That's the simplest one. And then you got the task-based one, which is kind of like our HR, and you upload your HR policies and documents and stuff like that. So if somebody asks a question like about what are my benefits, it can actually give them back the benefit document, and it could have the internet turned off, and it could be just using the company's data, and workflows to
well, you need the internet for Power Automate anyway.
Yeah.
Internet is you cannot usually work offline. You always need an internet connection.
Yeah. But like you can tell it not to pull data from it, kind of use the company's data.
It could run on the cloud, and you don't need it your own. But if it sends an email, or if it that opens a ticket or something like that, a service ticket or something, then at the end you need the internet. But yeah, it's the integration of probably workflows I see here, and other things that
kind of
any automation,
especially kind of repetitive tasks, that people are constantly asking these questions, whatever. So you could use that task agent to do that, And the third one then is the autonomous one. That's where the agentic side of things come in. This is autonomous, that you don't need a person to get involved. It can just keep going around itself like that. And we'd say if it's a HR agent and wherever like that, somebody's after asking a question of HR about an IT problem, it could probably connect to the other agent, the IT agent, and ask the IT agent that, and then respond back to the person, you know. So
Okay.
that's kind of the spectrum of agents anyway. So this is a scenario there, right, where Wells Fargo, a lot of their branches, right, they have 4,000 plus branches, and their bankers would be looking for information. So they'd have loads of, like, it'd be like searching the internet, you know, when you type in something and next you've got 25 or 30 pages come up. They decided to use agents to ask questions of their company data. So as you can see there down the bottom, right, before they used to take them 10 minutes to answer a question. Now it takes them 30 seconds, which is a huge improvement. So the next slide will show you how they actually, you know, the 4,100 branches. Next, all of a sudden, 75% of all their searches are being used by the retrieval agent. So you can see how the agents are really, you know, improving productivity with the Wells Fargo bankers, you know.
I wonder if they use the pay-as-you-go model or if they give license to everyone, or it might be a combination. But yeah, most probably pay-as-you-go, or some kind of a fixed price, which because the amount
Yeah,
of employees and the amount of branches, then. But
yeah. So like the pay-as-you-go version is cheap. Like it's like 1 cent per message.
yeah,
So yeah,
well, it's 1 cent, but it's 2 cents actually, because one is asking, and one is the getting it back, so it's 2 cents because
okay.
you have a
Outgoing,
question and an answer, but it's still cheap. Yeah,
still cheap. Yeah, yeah. Like if you think from the previous slide, it used to take them 10 minutes. So now it only takes them 30 seconds. So the amount of time for those 4,000 branches and how many
yeah.
people in each branch, it's a no-brainer, you know, for them to use that.
I wonder if they how did they search? Was it manually or did they use the um, uh, SharePoint Online 365 search? Because the comparison needs to be how did they search before? Did they go to uh did they manually look for it? Did they use
Just
internal search? Or yeah, but it's yeah.
1 second there now, previous. So here it says, right, they were equipped with a chat-like search agent that helped them find things, documents,
But
customers,
that's
news.
after. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the solution of Copilot. The question: how was the search done before that? Was there a different search agent? Was it
yeah. They used to
within
have
the 365, or were they opening up a physical document, or were they using? But yeah, I'm just
they,
trying to challenge this
yeah,
information to know if it's a real comparison. But even if it's half of the time, it's also good, or a third of the time, it's also good.
so they were
Okay,
definitely happy with that time anyway.
yeah,
So they're kind of saying like Microsoft is saying every employee will have a co-pilot work. It will work as your personal assistant. It'll be grounded in work contact like emails, meetings, documents, the user interface for AI, and then you have the agents over then at the other side. Every business process will have an agent. Um, AI powered systems with actions, triggers, and knowledge. work on behalf of employees, teams, and functions, connect to Copilot or autonomous. And the other one there on the right there, so you can build your own agents tailored to your unique business process. Agents built by Microsoft, employee self-service, SharePoint agents, Dynamic 365 agents, and many more. So other agents sent by third parties can be Adobe, ServiceNow, SAP, and there's many, many more of them. So you can use it for all different functions here: HR, customer service, sales, finance, marketing. And there's a kind of the Copilot chat. That's what it looks like there in the M365 Copilot. That's kind of like the free one. And this is the Microsoft Copilot Studio. Then this is what it looks like. As we're coming up on the hour anyway, Amy, we won't have time to do any demos on it, but I kind of covered the slide.
Very good presentation.
So they were kind of some of the slides. And this one here is kind of where most of the questions people kind of get confused, and this one can actually point out them. Because you got the Copilot is kind of the free one, and then you have to get the Copilot Pro. Do you see in the second kind of column there?
The Pro is for non-corporate one, so it's like the private one, but with additional functionalities, and then
they charge £19 for a month for Copilot Pro.
Yeah, that's the equivalent to $20, I think, for the Pro. You have the free, the $20, and the $30 is the 365 Copilot. In US dollars,
and they have it there over on the right under the Copilot Studio. They have it in pounds, but it's $200 per month for tenant. And
this is for 25,000 messages. So either you have your pay as you go, or you pay for 200 for 25K. I just want to mention that the autonomous one, the costs are much higher, because for each, it's not 1 cent or more. It's like much more, but it gives much more. So, but
so like you
I wonder. It says here up to 4 SharePoint sites and up to 4. I think it should be 20 sources. I don't know why if 4 SharePoint sites and 4 public, but maybe that. I remember at least when in a SharePoint agent, or it was mentioned that you could have a maximum 20 sources, but a source can be a site, and you can have lots of files or folders or things. But it's interesting that it's limited to 4 SharePoint sites and 4. But maybe it's enough, because it's usually as for a specific. You can have one site or one public site that has everything inside, so it's sufficient.
Just see down the end of the middle one there, Copilot for M365. In the kind of the red part, it says 20 pages. So maybe that's probably for what you're thinking.
80K words a single. It will increase each time. And then what's the one on the right? Chat GPT and Enterprise. That's
So it's expensive, 60 per user per month.
But isn't there? You have a free ChatGPT, and you would have probably one for $20 for the for
Yeah, that's the first one there. That's on the left. You see that one?
that's the private.
Private.
I see. No dull images doesn't index. Yeah, listen, the whole license model is always
Complicated.
complex.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you need a doctorate for that. But yeah, but I enjoyed this session, and thank you for letting
Yeah,
me share my knowledge, and thank you for sharing your knowledge. And
that was the kind of it. We had Q&A and loads of questions.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, I think most people were kind of asking kind of like internal kind of company policies, like, am I allowed to use this co-pilot on the company stuff? There's still a lot of confusion around that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and people always compare and say, well, ChatGPT is better and it has and then you say, well, if you upload your documents to ChatGPT, then it's not protected, and they practice their models. And when you put it in the 365, there's the uh, yeah, security and permissions, and you keep your data safe. So it's a balance between do you want the highest technology, or you want the uh, se- uh, yeah, security. But anyway, if you want to use it for your organization knowledge, then it's integrated within the Copilot.
Yeah.
I'm just before we leave. I'm We have a AI tour in Tel Aviv this week, so I
Okay.
may pick up some new topics and that I can share. But
Oh, very good.
yeah, but it's going to be interesting, also to learn and also to network with people, both from the community and also from Microsoft, where so it's an
That'll be
opportunity.
great.
Yeah,
We look forward
yeah,
to some insights
yeah.
there, Annie.
Did
So
did
we're
did you have a AI tour in Ireland or in UK?
um
Have you had it? Yeah.
I'm not too sure.
Okay.
Not unless it's coming up soon. I didn't
Mm.
see anything on the calendar. Um,
Okay. Anyway, have a nice weekend, and see you
and
next
thank,
week.
yeah,
And,
thanks very much for joining, Amy. Appreciate it. Great
bye.
demo. And I'll be back here again next week at the same time. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye.